What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today I'm gonna make some ceviche. So if you don't know what ceviche is, it's basically just like seafood, some type of seafood with lime and then just like other random vegetables. It's really popular in Central and South America, and it's made a ton of different ways, and so you can look up just a ton of different ways of making ceviche. The one I got is from feastingathome.com. It was a pretty fresh looking recipe, and I've never made ceviche before, so it looked pretty easy. So, but again, I've never made it, so we'll see how easy it actually is. There's no cooking involved, which is nice. It's really just marinating, chopping things up, mixing it, and then eating. So looks pretty easy. So we'll see how it goes. Let's run over the ingredients, and we will get started. All right, so not a ton of ingredients. Today I'm going to use shrimp. In the recipe that I'm going to link down below, they have fish, so you can use like sea bass or mahi-mahi or tilapia or something like that. But I'm just going to use some shrimp because it's cheaper, and I just like shrimp. So I'm going to use about half a pound of shrimp. I'm going to need about half a cup of cucumber. And I'm going to use about half a cucumber. That should be about half a cup. You need about half a cup of grape or cherry tomatoes, the juice of like 3 limes, about a quarter of a red onion. You need about 2 cloves of garlic or 1 teaspoon. You need about a quarter cup of cilantro. You need some salt and a little bit of pepper, and then about 1 or half of a jalapeno, depending on how much spice you want. I'm gonna probably make a little spice, so I'm gonna use the whole jalapeno and just kind of get most of the seeds out. And that's pretty much it. So let me go ahead and get started on chopping up this shrimp. All right, so this shrimp that I got is already cooked, and it's peeled and deveined and all of that, and there's no tail on them. So I'm just gonna kind of roughly chop them, because in the recipe she had, again, like I said, she used fish, and so she chopped it into like 1-inch cubes, and so I'm just gonna kind of roughly chop these little shrimps until I get to about 1-inch cubes. All right, now that this is pretty well chopped, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a bowl, and then I'm gonna get my onion nice and chopped. All right, so I got my onion here. It says to thinly slice it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and slice it really thinly. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to heavily salt this, and then let it sit in the drain for, like, sit in a colander for like 15 minutes or so, just until the liquid releases from the onion, and that'll actually, from what I've read anyway, that'll release some of the bitterness from it, and then I'll mix it all together with everything else. So let me go ahead and get this in a strainer, and then I'm gonna heavily salt it, and then we'll go from there. All right, so like I said, I'm going to heavily salt these. Now don't worry, because you're not really going to eat all this salt. After about 15 minutes or so, when a lot of the water or the liquid is released, you're going to rinse these off, and then pat them dry, and then you'll add them to the rest of the mixture. All right, so I've rinsed my onions. They were in there for about 15 minutes or so, so I've rinsed them. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and put them on this paper towel here, and then just kind of squeeze them dry. Just make sure they're not all liquidy when they go with the rest of the mixture. So I'm just gonna kind of put it in the paper towel here, squeeze most of the water out of it as much as I can, and then I will add them to this shrimp over here. It's probably pretty good. I don't really know. Hopefully it's good. So I got the shrimp here. Got my onions. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut my jalapeno and get my garlic and all that and put it in this bowl also. All right, so I got my jalapeno here. I'm gonna take the good old hat off. I'll cut it in half here. And then I will take the seeds out because I don't want to burn my tongue off, because that's no bueno. All right, so I left a little bit of the vein and a little bit of the seeds. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dice this up real quick, and then put it in with the shrimp and the onions. All right, so that's pretty good. Now let me go ahead and put this in here with the onions and shrimp. All right. Then I got my garlic here. Got my 1 teaspoon of garlic, which is about 2 cloves of garlic. And then add a little bit of salt. You don't need to add too much because, again, the onions were salted. Even though we rinsed it off, some salt will still be in there. And a little bit of pepper. And then I gotta do the juice of these 3 limes. Let me go ahead and cut these guys up, and then I'll juice them in there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze all these limes in there. That way I can get all the lime juice. And so, I mean, like I said, the shrimp that I'm using is already cooked, but if you're using fresh fish, this lime, whenever you put it in the fridge, this is actually what's gonna kind of cook it. Like the acid from the lime will cook the fish. I know, crazy. But since I'm using shrimp that's already cooked, it won't need to be in the fridge for too long, just enough to kind of get all the flavors in there. So let me go ahead and finish squeezing all these limes in, and then I will show you what we're gonna do after that. All right, got my last bit of lime in here, last bit of lime juice. So now that all that lime juice and goodness is in there, I'm gonna go and take the spoon and just kind of mix it up a little bit, just to make sure it all gets in there. And once that's pretty well mixed, I'm just gonna pop it in the fridge for about half an hour, and then we'll be ready to mix in the rest of the stuff. All right, so while that's in the fridge kind of marinating, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut up the rest of my veggies. So I got my cucumber here. I'm probably just gonna do it in quarters, maybe. We'll see how big they are. Well, I might do them, yeah, I'll do quarters. So we go and get these guys nice and cut, and then I'll get my tomatoes. All right, that's pretty good. That's probably small enough. I should have probably done it a little smaller. It's all good, it's whatever. All right, so let me go and get my tomatoes and get these just cut. We just need to cut these in half. We don't need to get crazy with it. All right, got my last tomato there. So once everything comes out of the fridge, I'm gonna go and mix this in here with the cilantro, and we'll be good to go. All right, to make my tostada shells, I'm gonna do pretty much the same thing I did for my homemade tortilla chips, except I'm not gonna cut them in slices, obviously. So I have, right here I have some canola oil, got my little brush here, and then I'm just gonna kind of lightly brush these guys on both sides, and then bake it in my preheated oven. I got it preheated to 375. I'm gonna go ahead and bake it for like 15 minutes or so, until they start to kind of brown up. And then when I take them out, kind of lightly salt them and let them crisp, and then I will be good to go as far as topping them. All right, so got those nice and brushed, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the oven for about 15 minutes. All right, so the tostada shells are done. Might have cooked them up for a little bit too long. See them there? So let me go ahead and get them salted while they're still hot. That way the salt can stick to it. And then I'll just kind of let them sit here and crisp up a little bit. I got my salt here. Do a little bit of sprinkle. All right, and that's pretty good. So again, I'm just gonna go ahead and let it sit here for a little bit until it crisps up more. All right, so this was in the fridge for about half an hour. It smells really good, actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in the cucumbers and tomatoes. And so while that was in the fridge, I ended up dicing the tomatoes and the cucumbers a little bit smaller, just so I'm not like having a mouthful of huge cucumbers when I'm eating these. All right, so and put cilantro in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix that a little bit. Then I'm also gonna get a little bit of olive oil and just drizzle a little bit in there. That's probably good. And then it's about ready to put it on those little tostadas that I made. I'm so pumped. This looks amazing, by the way. All right, so I've plated my ceviche on this tostada. Look at that. Oh yeah, if you can see that better. There you go. Oh, it looks so good. It smells really good too. It smells just like really fresh. And you saw, well, you use all like fresh ingredients, so I'm so pumped to jump into this. All right, here we go. Buen provecho. Oh man. That is super good. Yeah, like I said, it's super fresh. So like, I could eat this like on a beach or just on any hot summer day. This is awesome. Seriously, go make this. It's super easy. It's a little time consuming with, you know, the marinating and all that, but it's not hard at all. You saw, it's pretty easy. So, man, so if you guys make this, be sure to tag me in it, Average Cooking Guy. I would love to see your creations. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye.